I tried to act normal. That's what mothers do when something feels wrong, but saying it out loud would make it real. I made breakfast the next morning like I always did. Toast, coffee, eggs I barely touched. The routine was familiar, comforting. For part 3, please subscribe my channel and like the video. But he wasn't. He came into the kitchen quietly. Too quietly. "Morning," he said. I turned toward him and smiled, the practiced kind. The kind you wear when you don't trust your own thoughts. "Morning," I replied. And then, that look again. Not as strong as the night before. Not as obvious. But it was still there. Lingering. He sat across from me at the table, elbows resting where his school books used to be years ago. I noticed things I hadn't before. How close he sat. How his voice softened when he spoke to me. How he waited for my reactions, watched them. As if he was measuring something. "You didn't sleep well," he said. It wasn't a question. I froze for just a moment. "What makes you say that?" I asked. "You look tired," he replied. "More than usual." The words echoed. "More than usual." "I had a lot on my mind," I said quickly. He nodded. Again, that slow nod. "I figured," he said. We ate in silence after that. But it wasn't peaceful silence. It was the kind that presses against your ears. The kind that forces you to listen to your own heartbeat. I could feel him watching me when I wasn't looking. And when I did look at him, he didn't look away. After breakfast, I started cleaning up. I needed to move. To do something with my hands. He stood up too. "I'll help," he said. "You don't have to," I replied. "I want to," he said. Another pause. Another shift. We stood at the sink together, closer than necessary. He handed me plates, one by one. Our fingers brushed. Accidentally. At least, that's what I told myself. But neither of us pulled away right away. "I don't remember when you started doing everything on your own," he said. "What do you mean?" I asked. "I mean, you never ask for help," he continued. "You carry everything yourself." I laughed softly. A nervous sound. "That's what mothers do." He didn't smile. "That's not fair," he said. I turned toward him then. "Fair?" I repeated. "You've given up a lot," he said. "For me." The words were sincere. Too sincere. And suddenly, I felt exposed. "That's part of being a parent," I said. "I don't regret it." He looked at me then, really looked. And his voice dropped. "I think you should have had more." The room felt smaller. I cleared my throat. "You're sweet," I said, reaching for another plate. "But you worry too much." He didn't answer. Later that day, I found him sitting in the living room, staring at old photo albums. I hadn't touched them in years. "Where did you find those?" I asked. "In the hallway cabinet," he said. "I was just looking." I sat down across from him cautiously. Photos of birthdays, holidays, school plays. Him as a child. Me younger. "You were beautiful," he said. For next part, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. I smiled automatically. That was a long time ago. He shook his head. "I don't think that changes." The way he said it made my chest tighten. "You shouldn't talk to your mother like that," I said gently. "I didn't mean anything wrong," he replied quickly. "I just meant I know," I interrupted. "Did I?" That night, I locked my bedroom door. Not because I was afraid of him. Not exactly. But because something inside me needed a barrier. A reminder. I lay awake listening to the house settle. Every sound felt louder. Every creak felt closer. At one point, I heard footsteps outside my door. They stopped, stayed, then moved away. I told myself it was nothing. But my hands were shaking when I finally fell asleep. The next few days followed the same pattern. Nothing happened. And yet, everything felt different. He started finding reasons to stay near me, to sit beside me on the couch, to linger in doorways. He asked questions he'd never asked before, about my past, my regrets, my loneliness. "You don't talk about Dad much," he said one evening. "There's not much to say," I replied. "Do you miss him?" he asked. I hesitated. "I miss who I used to be," I said quietly. The honesty surprised even me. He didn't respond right away. Then he said something that made my breath catch. "You don't have to be alone anymore." I looked at him sharply. "That's not your responsibility," I said. "I know," he replied. "I just care." Such an innocent word. And yet, in his mouth, it felt dangerous. That was when I realized something terrifying. He didn't see me the way he used to. And worst part of him didn't seem to understand why that was a problem. I started pulling away, limiting conversations, keeping doors open, creating distance. He noticed. Of course he did. "You're avoiding me," he said one night. "I'm busy," I replied. "You weren't before." The accusation hung between us. I wanted to scream, to say everything. But how do you say something like that without destroying everything? So I stayed silent. And silence only made things grow. Because when you don't name a line, someone else might decide where it is.